Welcome everybody to Geek Dad Reports Crap or Craptastic, the one show where we take a movie that's poorly reviewed and tell you whether or not it really is a big steaming pile of crap or if it is a craptastic gem that critics were just being big stinky jerks about. I'm Brian West.
And I'm Ryan Thomason.
And tonight we have one that just landed on Amazon and I don't know, it had a Metascore of 51.
Amazon Prime. Not just Amazon, but Amazon Prime Video.
Amazon Prime has a 6.5 on Amazon Prime, which isn't terrible, but I know it's like a 20 on Rotten Tomatoes. But that is Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets, the latest from Luc Besson, the French director that gave us such gems as La Professional, or The Professional, and I don't know, what was the other one he gave us?
The Fifth Element.
The Fifth Element, there you go, Lucy. Anyway, pretty good director, but this was one that it did not find an audience for, and unfortunately for him, it was a gigantic flop. But we didn't pay for it, and we're going to talk about it now. It stars Dane DeHaan. You might have known him as the Green Goblin in the Amazing Spider-Man, the second Spider-Man reboot series. And Claire DeVega. She was also known as Claire the Enchantress from Suicide Squad, yet another flop. And Clive Owen and a few other people in this movie, but I don't know. What'd you think, Ryan?
Other than that, the movie was a complete boring waste of my time. That 1 hour in, I kept having to see how much time was left because I wanted to blow my brains out.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently we had very different views of this movie. Well, before we get into that, real quick, if you're not familiar with this movie, basically it's an adaptation of a comic book of the same name.
A French comic book.
A French comic book, which I will say, I don't know if you agree with this, watching this movie, it definitely made me want to read the comic book because there is a very rich, intriguing world that this movie is based on that I definitely want to see more of. So it has a very complicated plot. The loose, I guess the loose description would be that there's it's in the future, and a space station is given way to a giant space station where there's 1,000 different species represented.
I will say, making a space station at the very beginning, that was pretty cool.
Let me give my description of the movie, Ryan, before you interject your thoughts, jerk. Anyway, so basically, our two title characters, Valerian and his partner, are space cops, like special agents, and they have to save some stuff from some people who may or may not be good or bad, and there may be a lot of bad people who are posing as good people, and space guns and aliens and stuff. So anyway, that is your basic plot of the movie. It's a complicated movie, and I may or may not have had a few drinks, but when I watch the movie, not while I'm doing this because I'm a professional, but I really actually enjoyed this movie. I loved how weird it was, and I thought the plot was actually pretty good. I thought there was some really good ideas in this movie.
I'll say that, okay, so visually,
yeah, the
movie was great.
Yeah.
Like, the effects that they had on all the different aliens and, like, the different environments, and I even like some of, like, the ways that they did the machineries and stuff like that, the alternate dimension. That
was one of my favorite things is, so, obviously a little bit of spoilers, guys. We're not going to spoil everything, guys and girls. We're not going to spoil everything, but we're talking about it. So, at one part in the movie, they play on different dimensions. So you can go on a planet and you can put on these helmets and see a totally different dimension that's in the same space and time. And you can actually put your hands through these boxes and your hand can be in the other dimension. So they had I thought that was really cool how they had an action sequence that was taking place in two different dimensions at the same time.
And they were showing it, so like the guy just running in like clear space, but then they showed alternate dimensions, like diving through like this complex.
But he's got it's basically a floating hand and a gun.
Yeah.
So there's some visually, like Ryan said, there's some visually really cool stuff in this, and this is actually a movie I really wish I would have seen in 3D. I think it would have been a great experience in 3D, and I'm not a big 3D fan. And it's weird. I'm not going to say it's not a weird movie. It is. There's a lot of strange stuff. Think Fifth Element, but like on cocaine, man. Like this.
Oh, it's like Fifth Element, but like shitty.
What?
I mean, The Fifth Element is the greatest sci-fi movie.
Oh, I thought you said Fifth Element was shitty. We almost ended our friendship.
No, it's Fifth Element, but shit. Fifth Element is one of my favorite movies of all time.
So what is it that you specifically didn't like about this movie?
It was just the plot was boring, I thought, and I think they could have they did a lot of stuff that didn't really make sense, and it didn't really have any point in the plot. They just did it to do it.
You didn't like the whole bad government cover up alien species that's bad but actually not bad.
Well, I think it went too long. Okay,
it was long. It's about 2 hours, I think 17 minutes. And it definitely felt all of that.
If they have cut it by like half an hour, like made it like an hour 45 or something like that, I think it would have been a lot better movie. But it just felt like it just went on.
I think the problem is this universe is so different and strange that they had to do a lot of world building, right? So there was a lot of that going on in this before it even got to the main plot. I personally enjoyed the story of the aliens that I don't want to talk about, but I actually thought it was pretty cool. I thought I liked how there was some twists and turns and maybe some stuff you didn't quite see coming. Apparently, you just lost interest in it. For me, it reminded me a lot of The Fifth Element. It was very weird, very strange, and very sci-fi. But I really liked a lot of the concepts. And I really liked that Luc Besson took a big swing at it, right? I didn't think that everything worked, but in a day and age where we get so much of the same, everyone plays it safe. The formulas. There's a reason why we keep getting the same goddamn Transformers movie over and over again, because they know it makes money. So I kind of appreciate a visionary director who takes a big swing, even if everything didn't connect. But I love Fifth Element. For me, this was kind of a spiritual successor to The Fifth Element.
I wouldn't go that far, but I would say that I really like the concept of the giant space station that's going through the universe. I did think that I did like the aliens that or that are kind of like the main part of the plot. It took too long to get to where it needed to be, and that just kind of took me out of the movie.
All right, fair enough.
And like I said, visually it was great and everything. It was just too long.
All right, well, truth time, Ryan. Time for the final verdict. I think we're going to be split on this one. I'm going to say that this movie is a craptastic gem that you should definitely check out.
I'm going to say this movie was crap, and you should just pass on it.
Well,
you're not going to get anything out of it. They're never going to make a sequel.
No, that's true.
And it is nothing like The Fifth Element. Go watch The Fifth Element if you want to see a great Luc Besson movie.
I feel like you should ignore everything he said and just go watch this movie because it's free on Amazon, so you are out nothing but 2 hours and 17 minutes of your time.
This thing was great, and you're going to be like, no.
All right, well,
right?
We need you guys to be the tiebreaker. Who's right and who's wrong? Clearly I'm right and he's wrong, but... let us know in the comments. Did you like this movie or did you hate this movie? And we need a tiebreaker. So anyway, thanks for joining us. Until next time, stay awesome, everybody.
Stay nerdy.